You have very nice, just
penmanship.
Yeah.
Really?
yeah.
No, I don't.
You do compared
Everything's
to.
capital letters, and
Yeah.
the way I was writing too, I just noticed that everything's on the slant.
Oh yeah, there's no lines on the pages, but no, yeah,
All right.
very easy to read handwriting.
Well, good.
I have
I'm
not.
glad.
I don't talk too good today, obviously. I'm like that. What are you doing? Oh, just a fucking podcast where I'm supposed to be talking.
Yeah.
But nope, that's fine. I'm doing great. Life's great.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Terror 51. I'm your host Eugene here with.
True.
Hey.
Hey.
Hooray.
I think I'm the only person that doesn't call me Horror Delilah. So
You are the only person
I'm
that
pretty
doesn't call
sure
you
I
Horror
am.
Delilah. What'd you think of the graphic with the VHS
Love it.
mock-up?
Loved it.
That's
It's
cool.
so cute. Yeah.
And your Horror Delilah on there too. Did you notice?
Know, I did. I saw that and I was like, I'll let it slide.
Yes.
I'll let it slide.
Yeah, guys, we got all sorts of marketing going out there. Our good friend Joe, I always
Harsick.
butcher his last. How what is it?
Harsick.
Harsick?
Yes.
Oh,
That's what Anthony Nicometti told me. So if that's wrong,
Harsick.
wasn't me.
Really?
Yeah, which looks
See, the way
nothing like
it doesn't look
ZYZ.
anything like the way it's spelled.
Yeah.
It's like HRYCHCHYRXYZ 1 2 3
The consonant to vowel proportion ratio is just way off, and
Yeah.
it's very frustrating.
Like every
to
time I
me.
look at it, I'm like, all right, Joe Herrerich.
Yeah.
Rich.
That's what I said. I was Heinrich.
Yeah,
is what I used to
Heinrich.
say. Yep. But
Sounds
apparently it's
more like that.
Harsick.
But we got a new little graphic.
Yeah.
That was put together by our good friend Joe Photo. That's what we'll call him. from now
Joe
on.
Photo.
Joe Photo. Photo Joe. Thank you very much. You can go on our Instagram page or any of our other social media outlets to check it out.
Yeah.
Now, it was a slow news week this week, so we got a few pieces of news. Also, we're going to bring back a different subject, or a subject that we haven't talked about since the days of the
3
previous 51
of the
episodes.
Terra Trio.
So we'll be doing a hidden gems episode today.
Yeah.
So we got one, maybe two movies to talk about, and that's
Okay.
about it. So it may be a longer episode. It may not be a longer episode. It may be a short episode. It may be a bite-sized episode. Pint-sized episode.
You get what we give you, pretty much.
And you'll
so
like it.
You will love it.
All right? Don't give us any shit.
Yeah.
Although, actually, speaking of giving us shit, we got a lot of good feedback from our last
I
episode.
know.
People who are
Hey,
really
guys.
liking it.
Same.
So thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good
All right.
friends.
Well, let's start it off with Drew's news.
All right. All right, everybody. First order of business here. There's a rumor that J.J. Abrams might be developing a new Constantine movie for Warner Brothers. He's currently developing a Justice League Dark series for HBO Max. I still have to get HBO Max.
You should get HBO
I
Max.
know.
It's starting to pick up, actually.
How
big
much is
time.
it a month?
I think it's about the same price as regular HBO. I think it's like
$15 a
12.
month.
Oh, no. Maybe I think it's like 12 or 14 a month.
Right.
But it has all the same shit that HBO does.
Yeah.
And then it has extra stuff. Like it has
Okay.
DC stuff. It also has Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, Turner Classic Movies.
Ooh,
Like it has all
really?
sorts of shit. Yeah.
All right, I
The
may
horror
just bite the
section
bullet,
kind of lacks a little bit.
HBO did. It's what
But-
HBO Go does as well, though. Like
Yeah.
that was kind of my gripe. Like I just got HBO Go for Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay, well, I might as well enjoy other stuff
Yeah.
on here too. There's nothing on there at all.
Yeah. I mean, the cool thing about HBO Max though, is that they have, what do they have? They have all the Alien movies, all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. They
Both
have
of
The
which I own on
Predator for some
DVD.
reason, but they don't have any of the other Predator movies. They got some older movies. They have all the Godzilla movies for some reason.
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't
Johnny
know. I'll
Puma
check.
would love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got a decent amount of stuff on there, and just the TV shows and the cartoons, and just there's a ton of stuff out there.
Yeah.
So I mean, it might be worth it if you don't have like any other pay channels.
Yeah. I mean, I
If you're
don't
a
have
big
any.
Friends person. There's
I
Friends.
know.
All 10
Well,
seasons
that
of
and they
Friends are on
moved
there.
South Park to HBO
South
Max
Park's on there too.
so
All 23 seasons.
I know. I gotta. Yeah. I might as well do it. But
Well, maybe we could work out something, and I can hook you up with my login.
We'll talk. We'll
Yeah,
talk.
We'll talk.
I mean, we're not sharing logins because that is not legal or
Yeah.
never.
Don't
would
share
we
logins,
do that.
guys.
So yeah,
That's
we've already had a movie that starred for Keanu Reeves. He said that he's always wanted to play Constantine again. I support that. I
Yeah,
support
so
that
do I.
wholeheartedly.
So do I.
Yeah, I am loving this Keanu, like everyone's all
Like
of a sudden
kinda
like
his resurgence almost. Like he's
Yes. everybody's super into it and I'm one of them. I'm good with it.
And you know what? The funny thing is with Keanu Reeves, finally, I don't know if you saw the trailer for the new Bill and Ted movie that's going to come out,
Yes.
but Mark mentioned the other day, was it Mark? I think so, where he was like, he goes, watching that trailer, you could finally see Keanu Reeves is aging.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was one of those actors where
little
he's like,
bit.
he never fucking ages.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he went clean shaven.
Yep.
I think because we're used to seeing him John Wick with, with the beard and shit.
so that covers like a lot of
Yeah,
wrinkles
and the long
lines.
hair and stuff, so it
Yeah.
covers up most of his face. But yeah, with this one, he's clean shaven. Yeah, you could see where he's older now.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm good with it too. I don't care. With the whole Constantine thing, I liked the movie with him in it. But me being a big comic book fanatic, the way I was one of the people that kind of poo-pooed that they casted him as they cast him. They cast him,
yes.
As Constantine because he wasn't Constantine. On top of that, I hate when studios do things when they try to adapt comic books and they try to tweak and change little things about the comic book character.
Yep.
Where Constantine in the comics, he had the black pants, the white shirt, the red tie, and the tan trench coat. And then in the movie with Keanu Reeves, he was wearing just the white shirt and everything else was black.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird. Also, he has a British accent. Keanu Reeves did not have a British accent. And then the whole smoking thing. They actually they hired an actor. I don't know. Did you ever watch the Constantine TV show?
No.
On NBC. It was on NBC for maybe like 5 years ago.
I never fully watched it, but I had seen parts of episodes, so I know like characters and stuff like that. Yeah.
It was an awesome show, but for some reason it only lasted one season and it got canceled abruptly. Yeah. But the guy that played him, Matt Ryan, fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect depiction of Constantine. And then they brought him back because he was so popular. They brought him back and he plays a character on this other CW show, comic book show called Legends of Tomorrow. And he's also voiced it in a few cartoons as Constantine.
Okay.
So he's like the quintessential.
So he is but
He's
Keanu's
totally
like,
Constantine.
no, I'll do it.
But Keanu Reeves is like, yeah, I want to do it. Me, please.
Yeah, well.
I guess, I don't know if that was in the news thing, but J.J. Abrams has a deal with Warner Brothers and they're going to be doing he's going to be doing a series or a limited series on Justice League Dark, which is basically it deals with like the magic and the monsters and all that other shit in the DC universe. And Constantine is the leader of the Justice League Dark. So we'll see. So I mean, right now, I guess that's just a rumor right now with J.J. Abrams making a movie, another Constantine movie. But we'll see. I don't know. Fingers crossed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, second order of business, Saint Maud has been delayed once again.
I know, that's some shit.
A24 initially pulled it from its April release and then it was pushed to July 17th, but now it got pulled again. It will instead await a later date. Like I get it. Like we're in a very weird time right now and you want to make sure that you reach the optimum amount of people given the fact that you can't do it in a movie theater or anything. Like I understand. However, just give us a fucking movie. Like we want it. We'll take it. Like just fucking give it to us.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's just they're trying to. I mean, again, like you said, I get it. They're trying to get the most money back, most return back on their investment on it. But I don't know if you and I talked about this, but okay, so you understand that they're trying to get a return on their movies. Yeah, that they obviously they invested a lot of money in. What are your feelings on a brand new movie dropping just on VOD and the $20 to rent?
We did sort of discuss
Did we?
A little bit. I have trouble sometimes. Like I understand. I get the price. I get that you're actually still saving a fuck ton based on what you would normally pay at the movies. I get that. There hasn't been anything that I have purchased yet on VOD or anything like that. I don't know. At first, I was like, wow, a $20 movie, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
But then, of course, when you lay it out, yeah, it totally
Yeah.
makes sense. And it's actually cheaper than
Mm-hmm.
before. But I don't know. I mean, I'm here for it. If that's also spend whatever you want to fucking spend your money on, especially when it comes to entertainment. Like,
Yeah.
don't. I mean, obviously, don't give your money to like a white supremacist, but
No.
also maybe who fucking cares what people like. I know that people are very set in their ways and very against this whole thing, and I don't understand why.
You know,
It sounds
I
like it's
kind
a
of
big
understand,
ticket.
but then
I get
I
it.
don't.
I
You know,
yeah.
and if it's, I mean, no, not really. I honestly don't even
understand.
get it myself, because even if I want to rent the movie by myself and I'm watching
Yes.
it by myself,
You're still
because
spending
you know
that.
I'm single and there's nobody home now. Boo.
Boo.
But if I'm renting
Except
a
the
movie
cat.
and I'm watching it by myself, yeah, I'm still gonna save money anyways for
Yeah.
$20, because I'm not gonna. I can't get to go to the movies, but even so, I'll pay what, $12 at the very least, $12 for a ticket.
Yes.
Concessions is gonna run me another 20
$8 is if you only want a bottle of water. So like,
from the tap.
exactly.
Yeah, it's so I'm still
Give
saving
you a bottle
money.
of Dasani. Take it to the bathroom. That'll be $8.
That's
please.
it.
Empty bottle.
Yep. But even that, even if I'm watching it by myself for $20 for 2 days, and I can watch as many times as I
Yeah.
want, in those 2 days, I don't know. I still think it's fucking.
I get like, and I was one of those people that had the initial like $20 fucking dollars for a
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Are you kidding me? But when you sit there and break it down, it's like it's a no brainer.
Yeah,
I'm totally for
the
it. I don't
moment
think it's-
you're watching the movie with one more person,
Yes.
2 more people,
Oh my god, you have
3
a
more
family?
people.
You have a family movie like a release? That's 5 people,
Yeah.
4 or 5 people that you're not paying
That's it.
$80 just on tickets alone.
Yep.
No,
The
I'm
only way you
for
can
it.
get a deal like that is if you go to the $1.50 movie theater at the
Yeah.
McKinley Mall.
Yep,
You know, where they show second and third and fourth run movies.
exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm all for it.
I am.
You know, and I'm all for fucking supporting the studios, you know, and it's.
I know, like
It's just-
I get people like, oh, they're rich, they don't need our money, but like, no, obviously they are doing this for a profit, and if they don't profit, they're going to stop
they don't
doing
profit,
things.
or even if they don't make their fucking money back, they're not gonna make these movies anymore.
Yeah.
They're not gonna make shit anymore. They'll be like, you
Yeah.
know what, fuck it, it's not even worth it.
Exactly.
It's not even worth it.
Yeah.
So we'll
I don't
see. Yeah, I know this. So this whole Saint Maud thing. The one thing I hope is that with all this bullshit with this movie and a couple other movies, is that, you know, we're not getting upset for nothing. Like
Yeah.
the movie will come out, it'll be a steaming pile of shit, and it would
Yep.
suck balls.
Yep.
Like, oh, we got upset for this.
Exactly. Like, wow, I could have waited another 3 years to watch.
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
so,
yeah. Like it doesn't seem, and honestly, with everything going on, I honestly, I think the studio should just like give up on trying to release movie or come up with a new plan. I mean, right now there's like 600 theaters that are showing movies.
Yeah.
Right now, 6 or 620, and most of them are drive-in movies,
Mm-hmm.
drive-in movie theaters, and you know they're going to need to come up with some sort of plan where maybe throw the first run movies, all the first run movies through the drive-ins. 'Cause
Yeah.
people are obviously going to the drive-ins
Yeah.
to watch. I mean, look at me. I
Exactly.
go, you know, once, maybe twice a week sometimes. And yeah, and then just dump the movies on VOD. And there's movies that were supposed to come out that have been premiering on Netflix, that have been
Yeah.
premiering on Amazon Prime,
Yep.
you know, or Amazon Video. So I don't know. And you know, if a movie's like big enough, like I'll tell you something, that the movie, it's not a horror movie, but that movie Tenet that's supposed to come out,
Yeah.
that Christopher Nolan movie,
Mm-hmm.
I'll pay $20 a day, all day long to
Yeah.
watch that shit, because it's one of those highly anticipated
Exactly.
movies.
So I mean,
you know, it's out there, but right now at this point in time, everything's so up in the air, and the fucking rest of this year is such a big question mark
oh my god, I
that
know.
you got to figure out. You got to
Exactly.
figure out something. I mean, because this, I think it's just one big tease.
But and that's the thing too. And like I've told you, if I don't see something, like I start to lose interest very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't play cat and mouse. Like if you're
Yeah.
going to sit there and tease something to me, I'll get bored and be like, you know what? I don't want to see this at all now. You could hand me, you could be like, wow, this turned out to be the fucking greatest movie of all time. All of the awards, everything. And I'd be like, all right, well,
Yep.
I'm just gonna pop Pumpkinhead in again. So yeah,
For
like
the 78th time.
yeah, today. So like, Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I get them wanting to wait to the opportune time and, you know, get all the money they can. But at the same time, you got to figure something out, bro. Like, get it together.
Do something.
Yo. All right. Number 3 order of business for Drew's news. Ghostbusters Afterlife was supposed to come out this past weekend. Of course, because of COVID, the original Ghostbusters came out instead at the drive-ins. For the first time in 36 years, the original was #1 at the box office. It pulled in, what is this, 656,000 and is playing in 622 locations.
There we go.
Which, so Eugene listed them off, and I was like, I was totally stopped by this because holy shit. The top films in the past weekend were Jumanji, The Next Level, Relic, Jurassic Park, and Jaws. How fucking cool is that?
Isn't that crazy?
How fucking, what year is this?
Exactly. What decade is it right now?
A Jumanji movie is in the top, which I know fucking it's a newer Jumanji, one, but
fucking
still.
Jurassic Park, and Jaws.
Jaws just
like
made
it's all different, and it's different eras too.
Yes.
We got like the 70s, we got the 80s. And the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
And here, like, we have, I mean, Jaws is horror, Jurassic Park is like adventure, thriller, whatever. Jumanji's like family and stuff, like comedy.
Did we talk about how is Jurassic Park, would Jurassic Park be considered
horror
somewhat
elements.
Maybe
horror-ish? Horror elements.
Horror elements.
Horror elements. I don't.
All right.
Yeah, that's kind of my like encompassing of movies that have like, they could be, you know, tiptoe the line of some horror things, but like I still wouldn't call them a horror movie. So yeah, I would say it definitely has horror elements. I don't think that necessarily equates it to a horror movie.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I actually went and saw it. Last weekend, and yeah, I mean,
it has some definitely. There's
some
two children
moments.
hiding from a velociraptor in a kitchen. Like this thing could tear the fucking. It takes the guy from the bathroom, the outhouse,
the Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, grabs him from the toilet.
Yeah,
and just eats him.
Rips him in half.
Rips him apart. The part with Laura Dern where she's looking for Sam Jackson's character and she's hitting the circuits and then his arm hits her and she's like, oh, you're there, and it's his severed arm. Like that was just, it had horror-ish elements. It was funny too because I never thought of it even when I first saw it when it first came out in the theaters. I never thought to categorize it as a horror movie. But
well, that entire first scene. That whole first scene right off the bat's like very heart pounding, scary. Just everything the clever girl.
It was I don't know. It's again, it's one of those topics where you know, movies that are they horror? Do they have horror elements? Do you consider it horror? Do you not? Yeah. You know. Oh, speaking of, we got some feedback too on
Black
the last
Swan?
Episode with the IMDb list with the Black Swan.
What they say?
Freaking out.
What
the fuck? Yes. Black Swan's horror.
Top horror movie of the 2010s. Are you kidding me?
I hope Drew gives that Rose bitch a piece of her mind, and it was so much.
Like, come awesome. The fuck! I'm okay. I don't care. I'll start. I was ready. Did you not see that? I was like ready. I had my I slapped it. I was like, here we go. No, you know what? Rose and I were going to have a conversation.
Yeah, you are.
And then the final order of business for the news. There's a new animated Scooby-Doo movie coming out, and it's Halloween themed, which we love. I mean, I get it that it's a kid's thing, and it's obviously not the same as the old show, but like, I love the new Scooby-Doo stuff. I think it's super cute. Like, I love, like, because that stuff gets kids into that mystery and everything. Like, I love that. And because when we were kids, like when I was a kid, the Scooby-Doo cartoon was always aired, and I loved it. And it had like the ghosts and the crazy, so keep it going. Keep it like,
please.
I know someone who saw the most recent one, and they rented it. He was like, oh, it was, you know, he just didn't like it and everything. I'm like, but your kid got to see this horror thing that you love. And like, it's just, and it's, you probably can't show most, I'm not a parent. I don't know. Apparently you can't show kids The Exorcist when they're really little. I don't fucking know. I mean, we've all discussed our horror past, and our parents probably weren't the best parents for this.
Not at all. Not at all.
But like that was our childhood. So like having this little, for normal people, like this little segue from, you know, cartoon to, but there's also this world. Like, I love that. I think it's cute. So this fall, Happy Halloween, Scooby-Doo will come out on video on demand. Screenshots show that the gang will encounter Elvira, Dr. Scarecrow, Bill Nye the Science Guy, and monstrous pumpkins. So was that including Elvira's, or?
Elvira's going to be in it. I
I
guess
made a monstrous pumpkins joke about her tits. God damn it, Eugene, laugh. Someone got it. I know Eugene may have laughed.
wah, wah.
Or Julian may have laughed.
Yes. Actually, I think it's DC's Scarecrow.
Is it really?
Yeah. So DC
Oh, I
Comics Scarecrow. So it's
I couldn't read your
the bad guy
handwriting.
from Batman.
Yeah. Oh shit! No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was like Doctor Scarecrow because
Dr.
it was like a apostrophe
DC's.
S, and I was like, that
See,
doesn't
I
sound-
told you. I
But it
told you my
wasn't-
penmanship
no.
sucks.
Your penmanship
I write
was
like a
great.
serial killer.
There was just one part that got dicey, and that was my bad. I should have seen that. But no, I think that's super fun.
I know. I guess the plot of it. I didn't know that there weren't any straight up Halloween Scooby Doo movies or shows or anything. This is supposedly the first one
What?
that's straight Halloween. Yeah.
You just blew my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my mind got blown too when I read about it.
Huh.
Yeah. There hasn't been a Halloween themed Scooby Doo episode, show, movie, anything. There were always monsters and shit.
Yeah. So I
But
guess
there
you
weren't
always
any
just
Halloween
made it
themed.
like,
Yeah.
because they're like old spooky house and everything. But yeah, never. Huh.
Yep.
Fucking A,
Yep.
Scooby Doo. Always finding new ways
Isn't it
right
crazy?
off the bat.
I guess what is the plot of the plot of the movie is something where I guess toxic waste ooze
Of course.
hits a pumpkin patch and then all these mutates all these pumpkins and
Yeah.
they try to take over the world. So
Aw.
then the Scooby gang teams up with Elvira and Bill Nye the Science Guy to go and fight them.
I love everything about this.
I
I
can't
will definitely give them my $20 to see this.
There we go. Awesome. So that's all we got for news. For Drew's news.
Then that was all for the Drew's News
That's it.
section.
All right,
Yeah.
so let's get into our subject at hand. Hidden gems.
We
So
got a couple
basically,
of
it's
hidden
movies
gems.
that maybe nobody's heard about, or maybe you did hear about in whispers, or maybe you saw on your Netflix queue or one of your other apps or streaming services, and you're like, that looks interesting. Let me check it out. And then you watch it, and then you end up liking it for some reason and think, wow, why didn't this get a wider release? Or why aren't people fucking talking about this? So that's what
Or
we're gonna
like,
talk about.
I understand why this didn't get a wide release. This is horrible and also fantastic.
Yes. Zombievers.
Zombievers looking at you, baby.
That's another thing too. People commented on the whole Zombievers.
Yeah,
thing.
I know. I
Loved
saw
it.
like
They loved
Marcus
it.
said something about it. And I was like, see, Zombievers.
All right. So what do you got?
All right, I started with it's it's from that Masters of Horror series.
Yeah.
Where they each did. This one is one by I wouldn't call this man a master of horror. I don't know. Master of Horror William Malone directed it,
Okay.
and it turns out. So I had to look him up because he did not sound familiar to me at all. And his big things, like he did the 99 House on Haunted Hill.
Mm-hmm.
He did Fear.com.
Oh shit.
He did a couple of Masters of Horror, it looks like, and then he was involved with Tales from the Crypt from 94 to 96.
No shit. Now, was this from the first season or the second season? Of
This
Masters
is
of Horror?
season 1.
Really?
Yes, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
episode 9, and it is called The Fair Hair Child.
I remember that one.
Lori Petty starred in it. She was
Okay.
like the main character. This girl Lindsay Paulson, I think her name Pulsifer, was the young girl, and then William, what's this guy's full name? William Samples is another character. He's in like Happy Gilmore, but like the BFG, but he's in
Mhm.
like small roles, never anything like big. So obviously, I mean, Lori Petty has been in things, so
Yeah, a
you
ton of
know
shit.
her. But
Tank Girl.
yeah, my go-to is Free Willy. That's how you know what kind of
Really?
yes.
We
I
got
was like,
Tank
oh right,
Girl.
I've seen her Free
We
Willy.
got
Oh, well, yeah, then
Point
everything.
Break.
Yeah, that's where I went.
Her old
So
ass was on Orange Is the New Black a couple seasons ago.
yes, it was. Yeah, she was. I liked her in that. So the synopsis is a warlock couple abduct a young teenage girl to sacrifice her to a mysterious and evil entity as an offering to resurrect their long dead boy. So yeah, this girl, like, she's young, and they have like this really, really nice house, like all this stuff. And I forget how they got her over there. They didn't exactly like take her, but they somehow got her into their basement.
Mhm.
And so she's hanging out down there, she's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And all of a sudden, like while she's down there, the Lori Petty and the guy, William Samples, They are trying to get this ritual together, and you see like they're trying to get everything together, and they're arguing because like it's clearly Lori Petty, like the mother, she's at that like desperate to bring her boy back, like you know, and the dad's just kind of going along with it, and there's like a certain amount of teenage girls they had to sacrifice in order to get this boy to live again, and this girl's the last one. So she's trying to find her way out of this basement, and every once in a while this big like gust of wind comes through and everything starts shaking, and this thing comes out, and it's the fair hair child. This thing is really it's actually like impressively creepy. I'm going to show you, and everybody look it up, because whatever's on the cover is actually what they have in the basement. I think pretty much minus, I don't remember seeing like a cross on its forehead. They may have done that for dramatic effect, but it's this thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that an upside down cross on his forehead?
Yeah. So I don't remember that being there, but everything else, that's like the thing. Because you know how like I hate when a horror movie has something really creepy, crazy cool on the cover, and it's not shown once in the movie, or it is and it looks really bad. Yeah. I hate really that. Bad so effects. I gotta give it to this little, I know it's just like an episode movie type thing, but they delivered on the creepy monster. So I gotta give them that one. But so like this girl, it comes out, and then so she's trying to find her way out, and like this boy, like it's not human. So it's also trying to get her sacrificed, and just, you know, she's fighting and all, you know, dealing with the mother and the stepfather and everything. They eventually come down. She almost gets out. She doesn't. And so they end up being able to resurrect. It's only like 55 minutes. So like they end up being to resurrect their boy. And it's just like I liked it because typically I'm a happy ending person. Like I love.
Are you really?
I am, surprisingly. Like when it comes to
no shit.
I am. What I don't. Yeah, I like when everything is packaged nice and neatly with a bow. Everything's done. I don't need any further research. It's just. Yeah, and I like when the heroine wins. Like I was surprisingly okay with the end of Cabin in the Woods because everybody in the world dies, but I wanted them to live. So I just, with this one, I was perfectly fine with her not making it, which is very off-brand for me. Like it was, I don't know if maybe like it's not that she wasn't sympathetic enough or anything like that. The girl she was younger. She was a good actress. Everything. It was well done. Like it wasn't like the second made for TV It back in like when it was kind of like, you know, they blew their budget on number one. So, but yeah, this one, I mean, obviously the whole Masters of Horror series, they gave them stuff to work with, and like Lori Petty being in it and stuff like that. Like they had, and there was a couple of other episodes that I had liked. That I can't really. This was the only one that stood out to me.
No shit.
Yes, and I purchased it. I think maybe with one of my exes, but I ended up buying it because I liked it so much. Wow. Yeah, it's really good. So then they ended up somehow making through with the ritual. The girl doesn't end up making it, and they end up being able to bring their boy back. And he's just like, he's a creepy fair haired child. It's like this little Children of the Corn white boy, blonde hair, blue eyes, like perfect and everything. And I think. She also ended up having to kill her husband during it, but that was for different reasons. He was just a fucking mess and an idiot. And but they had to sacrifice a bunch of girls, and this was the last one.
I don't know why this sounds so familiar. I think I own this.
It's episode. From 2006.
I ended up watching it when it first premiered because I think Masters of Horror was on Showtime.
Yes.
And then so. I think it had it had a lot of big name directors, horror directors, for each episode. I remember the first episode was shit. It had something to do with a mountain, or I think it was called or something. Yeah. And then I remember we talked about, not you and I, but in a previous episode during your hiatus, yes. I talked about one of the band episode from Takashi Miike Imprint. Which,
Yes, yeah.
Which I don't know. Have you seen that?
It sounds familiar.
I'm gonna have to lend it to you then.
I'm looking.
That episode was fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see why it got banned. But with Masters of Horror, I remember. I know they did one full season, It didn't do too well. I think they did a second season, but a shorter second season, and it didn't have a lot of big name directors.
No,
Then it got canceled outright. Then they tried to reboot it and rebrand it, and then they put it on NBC as it was a show called Fear Itself. But basically I think it was Fear Itself, right?
I want to say so.
And basically what I read about it was that was supposed to be season 3 of Masters of Horror.
Mm-hmm.
But because it got canceled, they retooled it.
That's right. Cigarette Burns was an episode on here, the John Carpenter one.
Yes.
That one was a good one.
Yep.
Is that the one that had Norman Reedus in it?
Fuck, man. I don't even... I got to crack those open. I know. I think David Cronenberg did one. Was it called Jennifer?
Hang on, I'm looking at the episodes now.
Jenifer. It was missing.
Yes.
With the chick with the fucking mangled face.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was...
Yeah, Imprint was the episode 13 of season 1. It was the last
episode. Was there another episode called Pelts, I think, that had Meatloaf in it?
Hang on, I see. There's number 1. Okay, so Jennifer was number 4.
Okay.
On season 1. Cigarette Burns, Fair Hair to Pick Me Up. No, not on season 1 anyway. Possibly season 2.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Hold on.
These were, honestly, a lot of these were really fun. I actually...
It's weird because I can see why
it didn't
do well.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first watched the episodes, I was like, all right, there were some, like any other show. Yeah. There were some episodes I loved. Other episodes I was like, well, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Pelts,
Pelts, Dario Argento, episode 19.
Yes.
So it's weird because they have season 2.
Oh, there is a season 2.
But they start it at episode 14. They go like...
Oh, so they're doing it in chronological order from season 1.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking on here and it's, let's see, we got, wait a minute, holy shit. How many seasons how many seasons? Season 2 had 13 episodes.
Yeah.
So season 1 had 13 episodes also.
Okay, so
and the 13th episode of season 1 was Imprint, which obviously got, let's see, we got it. Oh, wow.
Oh, like Toby Hooper, John Landis.
Yeah.
Another John Carpenter one. Mick Garris, Rob Schmidt.
There it is. That's what happened. The first episode was Incident on and Off a Mountain Road.
Yes. That one I had seen.
That one I liked.
I actually think I own that one accidentally.
How do you own something accidentally?
One, because I'm a strange human being. And also, there was like Mike at an old job had a client who handed him 2 spools of burned DVDs. Oh, yes, shit. Ladies and gentlemen, burned
from back
blank.
In the day.
Blank. There was a lot of blank discs in there, so we'd have to go through and find out what they were. It actually turned out to be amazing because some of the shit that was on these DVDs, oh my God, there was one with a very bloated Sean Patrick Flannery called, it had something to do with a worm. It was like a sandworm or something. It was just the worm name. I forget. It was so bad. And he looked like he Mickey Rourked himself so hard and just all of the fillers. And
that's terrible.
It's like, baby, just age. Ugh.
That's terrible.
Men, women can get away with Botoxing and stuff. Men, it's so obvious. You wear that on your face.
You know, the one that actually started like kind of turning me off was, you ever see Dance of the Dead?
I didn't see that one. No.
That was an episode, and it had Robert Englund in it.
Oh, yes. No, I did see that one.
Where it had, I don't know if it was like zombies, and then they electrified them. So when they electrified them, they did a dance, or it was stupid. But Toby Hooper directed that one. Like, it's just like they touted like all these big name horror directors, and some of these episodes just fell flat. Yeah,
We All Scream for Ice Cream. I definitely saw that one.
Yes, I remember that one too.
Oh my God, yeah, that was one. Actually,
like I don't remember a lot of these season 2 ones though.
No, the Washingtonians never saw that.
The V Word. What the fuck?
Vagina?
I guess. It says 2 teenage boys break into a mortuary to see dead bodies, but what they find is more than they bargained for. Dun, dun,
Shocker. Dun. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, the Masters of Horror series, there's some hits and misses for sure. It's obvious why it didn't work. Like, it's just, you have like the directors are great and talented for the most part. I mean, there's a couple that I hadn't heard of, but I mean, again, John Carpenter's on there. Like, there's some big names, but they're just kind of like, yeah, sure, whatever. And they kind of they grab an old script that they didn't finish. They throw something together real quick and go, here you go. Here's an hour.
Yep.
And so, But yeah, Fair Hair Child, I enjoyed that one
Cool. I'm gonna have
so
to check
much.
it out.
Yeah. Again, check, see if you probably do own it.
I'm sure I do because I have a lot of Masters of Horrors DVDs.
Yeah.
Like I ended up like back in the day of Media Play.
Oh,
When they came out, I think they all came out in like one shot, and I was like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And then when Imprint came out, like I had to get that because they made such a big deal about them banning it.
Mhm.
And the only thing is they came out with a pretty cool box set DVD back when DVD box sets were a thing, and it was like in a skull, and all the DVDs were inside. the
Yes,
skull.
I remember seeing
It's
that like
it's super cool
advertised.
looking.
Yeah.
Actually, interesting little bit of trivia from the Masters of Horror. I guess Mick Garris, who's the director that does a lot of Stephen King adaptations, I guess the idea for Masters of Horror came out because he throws a dinner, I think every month or every few months, and he gets all these notable
How
horror
do I
directors
get
together.
invited to
Yeah.
that? Could you
Yeah.
imagine sitting at
Yeah.
that table? How fucking
Yeah.
cool the conversations
And
are.
I follow him on Twitter, and he still does the dinners, and it's like the Masters of Horror dinners. And you got like John Landis, you had Toby Hooper, you had John Carpenter. I saw that Guillermo del Toro's in a lot. It comes to a few of them. You get like all these guys like showing up because they take like I want to call them class pictures.
Yeah.
With them, and I guess the idea came out for the series came out from these dinners.
Yeah.
Where he was like, you know what, let's make a series. How about we do each of us do an episode of the series, and they were like, all right, yeah, we're down. So it seems like the idea was like such a home run.
Yeah.
But
And it felt
the
so
fuck
short.
happened?
Yeah.
Sucks.
I know.
But-
It's very you probably I do it all the time where it's just like you have so much to do, but then you get excited about a project and you're like, fuck yeah, I'll take this on. And then you quickly realize that it is your lowest priority and you
Yeah.
have very little time to do it.
Yeah.
So
It's impressive though, the list of talent.
Oh,
talented
yeah,
directors that they got on board.
agreed for sure.
'Cause
And
they don't
so
do things like that anymore.
No.
ever.
No. So that's why it's just such a bummer that it didn't
Yeah.
land as well
Yeah.
as it should
It's
have.
bittersweet. I mean, at least
Yeah.
we got something.
Oh, true. I
but
mean,
we could have gotten more.
and we also could have gotten nothing, which may not have been that bad for some
Yeah.
of the movies.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now the movie that I found, I mean, I didn't really find it. I've been tracking this movie for a while when it got filmed and read articles on it, and I was waiting for it to get a theatrical release, and it never did.
Yeah.
But have you heard of the movie Girl on the Third Floor?
Yes. Why does that sound so fucking familiar?
Because it stars former wrestler CM Punk.
That's why. I've never seen this one.
Okay, it's on Netflix right now.
Oh, 2009. Oh, I pass by this all the time.
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I? No, apparently not, because you're calling it a hidden gem.
I am calling it a hidden gem. It was a movie that I've wanted to see. It's
Starring CM
it
Punk.
dropped. Yeah, I know CM Punk, and it's funny too because what's his name? Like, is his real name like Phil something?
I think so.
And
I
you would
don't
think
know.
that he would use his real name,
Yeah.
like Dwayne Johnson does. You see him as a Rock. and
Yeah.
everything.
That's weird.
But CM Punk plays this guy. His name is Don Koch, and basically he moves into a house. He moves out of Chicago
Philip
into
Jack Brooks.
Philip Jack Brooks. That's a cool name.
That's a way cooler name than CM,
Than CM
Punk.
Punk.
Whatever.
All right.
I'm mad at him
Even
for that.
Phil Brooks, just Phil
Yeah.
Brooks. It sounds like a
That's a movie
like a
star
fucking-
name.
like a scholarly thespian.
Yeah.
Phil Brooks, Professor Phil
Brooks.
Brooks. But he ends up moving into this house in the suburbs from Chicago. His wife, who's pregnant with their kid, is still in Chicago, so he's just renovating the house right now, getting it prepped for her impending arrival.
Mhm.
And all sorts of like weird shit starts happening while he's renovating the house. And this is where the movie, I was like, all right, you know how I feel about fucking ghost movies. And
I know.
haunted house movies and shit like that.
Oh, this is that?
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. I got a bunch of notes on here. It's there's a lot of weird shit. Like I think the movie tries to be 3 or 4 different types of movies
Gotcha.
in one movie. It kind of tries to be a monster movie. Then it tries to be a body horror movie. It tries to be a what would a movie like The Shining be classified as? Like claustrophobic,
I guess, yeah,
cabin
like
feverish,
yeah,
horror. Because there's a scene in the movie
psychological,
totally reminiscent of
yeah,
The Shining, like where I was like, okay, they lifted this from The Shining.
yeah.
And the only thing that saved this movie for me were the practical effects and the shit that happens in the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Okay.
The good thing about the movie is the movie's only like an hour and 35 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So it's super quick.
Love that.
You
Love
know,
that energy. Keep that up,
Yeah,
guys. There
yeah.
was a span where everybody was doing like 2-hour movies, and I'm like, your girl sleeps.
like stop it. Yeah.
Please, I
Yeah.
have things to do. I
Yes.
have a family to see.
Yes.
Like, I can't
Yes.
be here for
Just in
2
and out, in
hours
and out.
every time.
Yeah, in and out. You know, give us a horror fast, give us a horror
Yes.
90 minutes, concise, throw everything
You
at
don't
us,
need
and
all
then
your other
leave us
bullshit that
alone.
you want to throw in just because you've always wanted to write a horror movie. Like,
Yeah.
just
yeah. So he's moving in. He's renovating the the house.
yeah.
As he's walking in, there's goo on the floor.
Okay.
Of one of the. It gets fucking crazy. Of the floor in one of the rooms, and it's like goo with a condom on it.
Ugh.
You know, he comes in when he moves in. One of the first scenes in the movie is he walks into the house. He has a German Shepherd. Walks in. Also, I think the dog's name is Cooper, and the dog right away goes into the room with the goo and starts licking the goo up.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And then there's a hole in the wall with like black goo coming out of it, and he's looking at the hole and he sticks his hand in the hole. Like, who does that shit? And it's just weird because then there's all this there's all these fluids coming out of different parts of the house.
No, that's
Like,
not
there's
how
this
homes
shit
work.
that looks like jizz, and I'm pretty sure after the revelation of what happens towards the end of the movie that it was jizz
Oh,
that's coming out of the light sockets.
What?
There's jizz coming out of the light sockets. There's marbles getting thrown around throughout the house, like green marbles and clear
What?
marbles, and all this weird shit keeps like popping up. And he's just shrugging it off like it's an old house and it's just shit that I gotta fix.
No, I mean, yes, there are some old houses, but none of them ooze semen.
Yeah.
I
And
will.
it's semen too. Like at first I was like, is that fucking cum? And
It's jizz.
it's cum.
jizz.
It's
yeah.
cum. Yeah. Find out later that the house was an old brothel. And
Still don't
it's-
think that would make jizz come out of the sockets.
if it was a haunted brothel, maybe.
But there's so many better ways to haunt people than putting jizz all over the place.
You're right. Like he goes to take a shower in one scene.
No.
And it's I don't know how, mind you, like some of the shit that he does in the movie, you're like, all right, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Come on.
Yeah.
Stop it. And it's no, fool me once, shame on you.
Yeah,
Fool me twice, shame on me.
Shame on me, don't stop it. Fool me
like he
twice,
sees all
don't.
this goo everywhere. He decides, and every time he tries to turn on a faucet or something, no water's coming out, or dark fucking goopy water's coming out. He decides to take a fucking shower.
Oh yeah.
So of course there's no water coming out, but there's shit coming, gooey fucking shit coming out of the shower,
No.
and then he's surprised. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
I mean, we've all
it's
been
just-
there.
Of course, we've all been there, but it's still. But then, all of a sudden, this girl shows up. He FaceTimes his wife every night.
Mhm.
We find out a little backstory that he's kind of a recovering alcoholic. Also, something happened in Chicago that pushed him out and to get a life in suburbia
Gotcha.
with his wife. That he did something that was fucked up, and people knew about it, and people knew
Gotcha.
who he was.
Gotcha.
Because people started calling him King Don or some shit. Turns
That's
out,
funny,
I guess
'cause
that
isn't CM Punk from Chicago?
he is.
That's funny.
He is. Yeah, I found that. Yeah, I found that pretty ironic. So all of a sudden he's there. He FaceTimes his wife every night, talking about, let me see your boobs. Oh, how's the baby doing? Like, oh, random shit. Then this girl shows up out of the blue. He sees her in his backyard. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" She's like, "Oh, well, nobody lives here." He's like, "Well, I fucking live here now." She's
Yeah.
like, "All right, well, thank you, bye." And then she shows up the next night, and they make small talk. And long story short, he ends up fucking her that night.
Man, you trash
Man.
bags. Your
Goes back to what we were talking about before the
pregnant
show.
fucking wife is at
Pregnant
home.
wife.
And
then
you can't just keep it in your jerk off. Oh my God. What is wrong with men?
The funny thing is that he sleeps with her, then tells her, all right, we had a great night. It was awesome. Then she comes back and he's like, all right, you know what? Last night was cool, but you need to stop. It was a mistake. You know, of course he has, you know, the guilt afterwards.
Of course,
Then
that's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah. Then he has a family
It's better
friend.
to seek forgiveness than ask permission.
Yeah. Then he has a family
Fuckers.
friend show up to help him, you know, remodel the house. And the girl shows up again. And he's like, what the fuck? And he freaks out. And he's like, get the fuck out of here. By then, you kind of figure out that something's going on here with this girl that she keeps fucking showing up randomly at the house. But obviously, she's not a ghost because he banged her.
I don't know. I've seen Ghostbusters and blowjobs.
You're right. But that was an actual ghost.
True. We don't know it.
All you saw was Dan Aykroyd's fucking pants get undone.
Yeah.
And then him fall off the bed after he splooged.
Yeah.
Which still, man, that's a fucking, that was quite of a racy scene.
It was
for
a
kid's
very
movie.
racy scene.
Back in 84 is when it came out, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
I know. I had no idea.
I had no idea either when I first saw the movie.
Oh, yeah. And then now,
Like,
obviously,
why he
now
fell
as
off
an
the
adult, I was
bed,
like,
why did the ghost move down? Why were his pants getting undone?
I remember seeing that as an adult and no one had told me this beforehand. So I'm watching, I'm like, wait.
And nobody's ever said, and I used to,
No one.
I saw it with
No
my
one.
parents. I saw,
Yes.
you know, and I've watched, and nobody said anything during that scene.
No.
Ha 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 ha, laughing, but nobody said it. Yeah, it wasn't till I was an adult, and I was like, huh.
But isn't it
All
funny?
right.
Like, no one had ever told you that. No one ever told me that. But now, like, everyone knows. I feel it's just, I'm like, wait, so did we all collectively watch it one day and go, like, oh
shit.
That's a blowjob? Like, yeah.
Dan Aykroyd got blown by a ghost in
Fucking
Ghostbusters.
didn't ruin my life, but you know, it certainly changed it.
I mean, it kind of enhanced the movie a little bit for me. So.
I kind of
was
liked it a
all
little more
right,
because
all
of that. I'm
right.
like,
They
thank
took
you.
chances.
Yep.
They took chances. So we find out like all these little spheres are going, you know, all over the house and coming out of like sockets and coming out of which I kind of like. I think it also tried to be like a body horror movie because the electrical sockets were kind of like organic looking and slimy and shit, and these fucking marbles would like pop out, and
Don't
it was
like
just
that.
I don't know. So the dog ends up eating a marble. Then at one point, then another scene which still has me scratching my head. He sees a marble. He picks it up. It rolls across the floor. It's a clear one. He puts it in his mouth and he swallows it.
How old is he? Is he supposed to be a 3-year-old?
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's it. You know what's another thing that kind of bummed me out?
Adults
It's
don't
gonna
put
bum me
things
out,
in your mouths.
Huh?
I said, adults, please don't put things in your
Yeah,
mouths.
stop it.
COVID. That's how we get pandemics.
Yeah, wash your hands and keep things out of your mouth. But another thing that kind of bugged me about the movie. Okay, we all know that he was a former wrestler.
Yes.
Okay, and he's all tatted up, which it's weird because normally in movies, I thought movies frowned on people that had tattoos, and then they kind of cover them up.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, he was shirtless in this movie about a half dozen times.
All right, I'll watch it. Fuck it. Don't like the man, but I can
he would
appreciate he's
randomly
pretty.
just take off his shirt.
I'm good with it.
That's fine.
Now
but
you
it
know
was
what
just-
it's like to be probably a straight woman watching horror movies.
Sure. But
That's all we see.
It was just funny. Yeah, and it's funny too because we got to see him shirtless a bunch of times. And supposedly the movie even says it on here on IMDb that it has nudity. There was no nudity in the movie. The only nudity was him. Because the one chick, you get to see her naked, but strategically her boobs are covered.
Everything is covered.
Her
Yeah.
ass is covered. Like you don't really see anything. You see stuff, but you don't see stuff.
Yeah.
But all right, he sleeps with her. Then he tells her to fuck off. Then his family friend comes to help out. She shows up. He tells her, you got to fucking get the fuck out of here. You can't keep coming, showing up. The friend's like, all right, what's going on? I'm friends with your wife.
Yeah.
What are you doing? The guy was like, and then CM Punk was like, all right, you need to stop. I did something. Don't tell my wife. So he's like, all right, but don't put me in this fucking position anymore.
The first thing I would do is tell the wife.
So all of a sudden, this Sarah chick, that was her name. Yeah. This blonde hair chick, her name's Sarah, keeps showing up. Then I think you know, I keep wanting to say CM Punk. It is CM Punk.
Yeah,
I'm
CM Punk.
not going to call him by his character
No,
name.
fuck that.
But all of a sudden, CM Punk is doing running errands or something. His friend's in the basement helping out, fixing shit in the basement. Sarah shows up. And he's like, all right, you know what? I don't know what happened between you two, but I'm friends with the family. You got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Then this is when the movie started getting better.
Okay.
She takes a fucking mallet and she fucking smashes him in the face with it.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then it was a cool practical effect where he had like this big hole in his eye socket and he's trying to climb up the stairs and she's walking ominously behind him. And all of a sudden he looks up the top of the stairs and there's this fucking weird looking chick at the top of the stairs that looks like she has a diaper on, naked, has a diaper on. You don't see boobs because she's got ropes around her like she was like tied up, and her face, you can't really see her face.
Huh.
More on that later. So then the Sarah chick looks up at the weird chick at the top of the stairs and she's like, you gonna help me out with this or what? And then they cut it. So obviously they killed his family friend.
Yeah.
Family friend's gone. CM Punk is that night, gets a call from his wife because he talks to her every night. Except the night that he fucked that chick.
Yeah.
He fucked Sarah, which is kind of weird. But all of a sudden, she's like, what is it? The friend's name is Milo. She was like, how did Milo like it? Whatever. He was like, yeah, he liked it fine. He's gone now, whatever. And then all of a sudden, she tells CM Punk that Milo sent her a text or left a voicemail saying, we got to talk. So CM Punk is like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know, the jig is up. He's going to tell her.
Doesn't realize he's dead.
Sarah shows up again and all sorts of like weird shit started happening. And which is kind of weird. Oh, no. That's what happened. Sarah starts terrorizing CM Punk.
Oh, God.
Just starts showing up. He's like, what the fuck? Boom, 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 boom. Get the fuck out of here. And all of a sudden she leaves. He starts hearing a noise one day while he's painting a room or something, tries to investigate where the noise is coming from, goes to the laundry room. It's the dryer that's going. He opens up the dryer and there's pieces of the dog in there. So the chick
not
killed the
cool
dog.
with that.
Nope.
Not
I knew you weren't going to be cool with that.
Ever.
So
unnecessary.
she ends up
Don't
killing
kill
the
the
dog.
dog.
He calls the cops. The cop shows up and he's like, well, I don't see no chick here. There's no signs of forcible entry. You were in the house. And CM Punk's like, you're fucking stupid. Look at the video of the dog. Do you think the dog just got in the dryer by himself and tore himself apart?
Yeah.
And he called the cop a dick. And the cop was like, all right, well, here's my card. You get any proof, then call me.
Yeah.
So CM Punk decides that he wants to take matters into his own hands. So he invites, or Sarah shows up. He's sitting there. He tells her, he goes, I'm sorry about everything that happened. I'm sorry about the way I treated you. She was like, oh, did you rehearse this shit? Because you know the jig is up, motherfucker.
Mhm.
And I mean, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, you're married, you're feeling guilt. And he's like, no. He's like, well, I got something for you in the basement or in the kitchen or some shit. So she goes in there, he walks behind her, and then he fucking knocks her in the fucking head.
All right, I'm here
with
for this.
the mallet, the hammer that she used
To kill his friend. Yeah.
So then you're like, what the fuck? So that was cool. That was surprising.
Yeah.
I was like, he killed her. And also I want to add, CM Punk is not that good of an actor.
I'm not surprised.
He's not that good.
I was going to ask.
I want to say the first 20 or 30 minutes, like I groaned every time he said his lines. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, is this how the movie's going to be? He got a little better as the movie went on, a little better, but not much. And I think to make up for it, that's why the director was like, take your shirt off.
Yeah.
Take your shirt off.
Yeah.
So,
you're pretty when you don't talk.
Yeah. So
Love that.
so he kills the chick. He kills Sarah. Then he tries to put her in a fucking in the wall in the basement. And he's there like throwing lime at her. Like he's got her body wrapped up and he has like this little bag of lime, which looks like a bag of flour. And he's just taking fistfuls and just throwing it at the body.
It's not how any of this
I
works.
don't know. So then he goes upstairs because he gets a phone call and it's his wife again. And his wife is like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then he gives his wife attitude because he just finished fucking killing Sarah.
Mhm.
And, you know, he's like, I gotta hide the body. So he yells at her, hangs up on her, goes back downstairs. Sarah's body's gone. So then you're like, shit. Okay,
Yep.
so she is a ghost. Let's see. Oh, there. Yeah. So then after that, things start getting super weird. So then you can't tell if the shit that he's going through is in his mind or if it's really happening, because he starts having dreams where he's fucking his wife, and then the wife turns into Sarah, and then Sarah does something to him, and he wakes up, and there's a couple of times where he has like visions or dreams or whatever, and he wakes up and you don't know what the fuck real is not. And then this is where thing goes into like Cronenberg type territory.
Okay.
He starts hearing noises coming from the walls. He starts fucking banging holes in the walls, and then there's like this viscous fluid, and it looks like flesh, the inside of somebody's body, like coming out of the walls. Then he makes a hole in the bottom part of the one wall, and his friend Milo's head fucking pops out.
Oh shit! I was
With the
wondering
hole
what
in
they
his
did with
eye.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously she buried Milo in the wall, and then he keeps hearing all these noises, and then he looks in the one hole, and he sees a face, and he tries to hit it, and it's the face of this fucking girl, the bondage one, the one that was at the top of the stairs. So
Forgot about her for a moment.
yeah. So then all of a sudden, it gets even weirder. More marbles.
What?
More marbles. Like I'm conflicted whether if I want to ruin the movie and just
I don't give a shit.
talk about it or not.
All right, other people too.
for
But
other people. But
Well,
it
guys,
just gets
just fast forward a few minutes.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm kind of, sort of going to talk about the rest of the
More
movie.
than you may want to hear.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows? Maybe it might want. Maybe they might want to watch it after hearing about it. So all of a sudden, this weird looking chick shows up. You get to see what she looks like. I like the design.
Okay.
Like she didn't really have any eyes. Her mouth went straight up through her forehead and back of her
Ooh.
hairline. So it like opened up that way. Like she was super disfigured. It looked like she had a hole and there was glass shoved in the hole right where her cheek was.
Interesting.
Like it was cool looking. But then we find out that she's the culprit with all the marbles going around in the house.
She just like carry marbles around?
and she
Oh my God.
controls the fucking marbles.
What?
She controls the marbles because the one scene he's in the room and he's freaking out because he's getting chased by the fucking weird girl. All of a sudden, she shoots a marble into his ankle, and then this is a pretty cool scene. He pulls up his pant leg, and you see the marble going up under his skin, up his leg, and going through his body.
Oh, I like
and
that.
he gets a box cutter, and he tries to
cut it
fucking
out.
cut out the marble. So he's cutting himself,
Yeah.
and the marble's just traveling, and it's weird because he's screaming and he's trying to fucking cut and trying to get the marble out. The marble makes it all the way up to his neck, and he tries cutting the marble out, and he ends up
cutting
nicking himself. Yeah. And all this blood starts spurting. And this is where the effects actually got pretty cool. And he's screaming and shit. And all of a sudden you see another cool effect. The marble makes it all the way up to the bottom, his bottom eyelid. So there's a scene where he's laying on the floor screaming in pain, trying to fucking cut this shit out. And there's this big fucking ball hanging out of his fucking eye.
God.
And so it pops it out. And he's screaming, and she, the fucking weird looking bitch, is going towards him, and he's got the box cutter. And then all of a sudden, she does something with her hand, and there's like 6 marbles, and they go right at him. And then somehow he gets thrown into a closet, and that's the last we see of him for most of the movie.
What?
Until kind of like the end.
What?
So all of a sudden, I was like, "All right, is this the end of the movie?" No, because he's the main character throughout 3/4, throughout 75% of these 3/4 of the movie. He's the main character, and we've been following him. So all of a sudden, he's like dead. So I was like, all right, is he going to come back as a ghost? What's going to happen? Don't know. His pregnant wife shows up at the house.
Oh, God.
To surprise him.
Yeah.
She starts seeing all this shit. She's like, where the fuck is he? Nothing. This fucking neighbor. Oh yeah, that's another character. There's a neighbor that lives across the street. Came up, made some small talk with CM Punk in a couple of scenes. You didn't think she had anything to do with anything, and she kind of didn't. The wife shows up. the neighbor shows up like, hey, what's up? And she's like, where the fuck's my husband? And she was like, I don't know. And she was like, maybe you might want to get the fuck out of here. And then she was like, because this house has history, blah, blah, blah. And so that's where we find out that the house was a brothel back in the day. And whenever that the house has things against men. So if you get a happy family that moves in that house, nothing happens. Everything's fine. But if you get like a single man or a gay man, or because they allude about homosexual stuff too, then the house makes these guys go crazy or bad shit happens.
Okay.
So obviously CM Punk's character was a bad guy, and he gave in to temptation and fucked Sarah, and then the house got him back.
I'm all about punishing shitty men. I may end up watching this one.
There you go. There you go. See? And that's all my notes right there. Wife shows up. So then after the wife shows up, then Sarah shows up.
Oh, shit.
And the wife's like, who the fuck are you? And she's like, oh, I'm your husband's assistant. And she's like, what do you mean assistant? And she's like, I'm a gopher. I'll go pick this up for him and pick that up. And she's like, what the fuck? She's like, where the fuck is he? She's like, I don't know. He's somewhere. So somehow Sarah takes off. The pregnant wife's like, where the fuck is CM Punk? He's nowhere to be found. She goes all over the house. She dials the phone to call him. Phone's ringing in the house. Yeah. She's like, okay, don't know what's going on. She called, or the neighbor shows up. She talks to the neighbor. The neighbor's like, you need to get the fuck out of the house. Bad shit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Maybe it fucked with your husband, but you need to go. Get your family out of there. Mm-hmm. She doesn't listen. So she hangs out in the house. She comes back to the house. And this was the scene that came out that was just like a scene out of The Shining. She comes to the house and the house is full of people, but full of people from like back in the day. Oh, so they're all in period pieces and suits, and they got the little handlebar mustaches and shit like that, or the twirly mustaches. Yeah. And we find out, well, she's walking around. She's like, what the fuck are all these people? Sarah's in the kitchen. She's like, the fuck are you doing here? And she's like, there's a party going on. And she goes, where's my husband? She's like, oh, he's upstairs. So, all of a sudden she's giving her, mind you, she's pregnant this whole time. And she gives her a look, and I thought it was pretty funny where, Sarah's like, you want a drink? And she was like, go fuck yourself. And I was like, yeah. So then she goes upstairs. There's people in the house, whatever. Turns out that the whole premise and the whole backstory to this is there's an attic, and the attic had like a balcony area and rails that you could look down into the master bedroom. When you look into the master bedroom, the whole house, I guess back in the day, was like a sex den.
Okay, so it's just made to watch people fuck.
Yes.
Okay.
And then so then Sarah shows up. So she goes, so the wife goes upstairs, sees all the people by the rail in the attic, starts looking down like everybody else is looking down. Look down in the bedroom. Sarah shows up in a robe, takes off the robe, looks at the wife, and then some dude shows up like out of Eyes Wide Shut with this weird fucking bird mask, and he's ripped, shirtless, and he has a fucking branch, and he starts whipping Sarah, and she's like, and then all of a sudden,
I wish you guys could have seen his face when he did that.
And then I forgot what happened. Fuck. She heard a noise or something. She ends up going back downstairs into the room where CM Punk got attacked with the fucking marbles. And she goes down there. She hears a noise. All of a sudden, the closet door opens. CM Punk's character comes out. CM Punk comes out with cuts all over him and blood everywhere. Okay. And he's like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. She's like, what happened? What happened? He was like, we got to get out of here. Da, 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 da. And she was like, what the fuck happened? And he was like, I wasn't good. Cause I guess he cheated on her before and she forgave him. And he was like, it happened again, but I can change. And she's like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. He's all bleeding and all fucked up. And then all of a sudden he takes this was also a cool effect. He takes the box cutter and he gets the top of his head and he cuts straight down his face. Ooh. And he starts fucking peeling his fucking face off, and then he pulls his face all the way off, and it's Sarah that's underneath his skin. Yeah. What? Like the movie takes a turn and I'm like, what? But I was digging what I was seeing. And it turns out that something happened that Sarah's character lived back in the day, and there was also a little girl, like probably like 12 or 13 years old, that also lived in the house. And when they were having these sex parties in the brothels, Sarah was one of the prostitutes or whatever, but then they would also do things to the girl. And it looks like the little girl, because the one scene, the dude with the fucking bird face with the bird mask, the girl's up in the attic, and she's drawing some shit on the wall of the attic, and he hands her a bag of marbles. So then you see the little girl is the fucking disfigured chick with with the marbles. And the wife ends up running out of the house. The neighbor shows up, and she was like, yeah, it's fucked up what happened in the house. And the pregnant wife was like, you knew about this shit the whole time and you didn't fucking say anything to anybody?
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I kind of can't, because it was weird. She said something along the lines of, whoever gets in the house gets tempted. If they follow through with the temptation, then fucked up shit happens. But if they decide not to give in to temptation, then they'll be all right. But they have to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
So it's, a whole morality thing. So I forgot what else happens, but the pregnant wife ends up showing up, going back into the house, I think, or this scene happens before she goes to the neighbor, and the fucking disfigured girl shows up out of the fucking wall, which is something like out of The Ring, and she takes the mallet, which this mallet got a lot of use, this hammer, and she fucking hammers a fucking disfigured fucking girl in the head, and all this blood and pus and shit comes out. And then that's it. I guess somehow she goes back into the house. She goes into the wall. I don't know how she knew to go into a closet and bang holes into this one wall. And then we find out that the disfigured girl's body was buried in the wall.
Okay.
So they took she took the body out, buried it to consecrate it.
Well, she didn't salt and burn it.
She
didn't salt and burn it.
She did not salt and burn it. They buried it. Her and the neighbor go and bury the body, and supposedly everything's fine. Then the movie jumps forward 6 months.
Real quick, they did the thing that I hate, which is why I love It Follows, where they're like, "Oh, we need to handle something to fix this haunting." No one would fucking do that. You watched your husband peel his face off and turn into someone else. You're gone.
Yep. So. Once again, still no CM Punk, still no anything. We don't know what the fuck happened to him after the whole fucking massacre, because obviously it wasn't him when, cut his fucking face off. So go to 6 months later, baby's already born. Mom comes up into the baby's room. Oh, hey, goo goo gaga. And everything seems to be hunky dory. The kid is in the cradle looking up at the ceiling, and there's a fucking vent right above the kid's face.
Of course. What kind of parent does that?
Who does that? That's what I was thinking.
That's dust and gross.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like mesothelioma and like a fucking...
Or COVID.
Yes.
There we go. Just straight COVID right in the baby's face.
Those ventilation systems, man.
So all of a sudden you think everything's fine and the movie's ending, and then a marble comes out from the vent. And then another marble comes down from I was waiting for a fucking marble to hit the kid right in the head. And no, it just narrowly misses it. And then all of a sudden CM Punk's fucking face comes out of the fucking vent. He was like, oh, that's my kid. And then that's where the movie ends.
So is he the new marble lady?
Is he? I don't know. Maybe. Supposedly they cleared his wife cleared the fucking house of the ghost, of the Sarah ghost and the disfigured chick ghost. But then because nobody found his body, I'm guessing, so he's a ghost now inside. I don't know. That's how they left it. I thought it was a shitty ending, but
yeah, it sounds like a shitty ending.
But as a whole, I don't know. I didn't like the movie, but I didn't hate the movie. Yeah, if it makes any sense.
I'm like, I want to shit on it, but I'm also intrigued to see it. So I will see it just so I can shit on it more.
Yes.
But I want to watch it.
There's other scenes that, I totally missed that I didn't talk about. But yeah, like I said, like the first 20-25 minutes is just horrendous fucking CM Punk acting.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's just weird.
Wow. You mean sometimes wrestlers aren't good actors?
I know.
Craziest
it's so
thing.
weird. So weird. But then, like I said, like the last 25 minutes of the movie, like once Sarah kills Milo.
Yeah,
Then
it's
it
all
kicks up
crazy.
into high gear, and
Okay.
then it gets all fucking weird and
All
crazy.
right.
I mean, there's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
Well, obviously the director thinks there is a rhyme or reason for everything that they're doing,
Yeah.
but it kind of goes a couple
we don't
different ways,
understand
and
what he's
it's
trying
kind
to
of
tell
weird.
us, pretty
Yeah,
much. All right.
yeah. So
Aside
that's
from
it.
be a
Girl
good
on the
person.
Third Floor. If you guys want to check it out, it's on Netflix, so you can see it for free. Like I said before, it's a lean hour and 35 minutes.
We
That's
can do
why I
that.
totally didn't hate the movie.
We could do that.
So you could be in
Oh,
and out.
could you imagine if it was like a twofer?
No. I think I would have shut it off. No,
Yeah.
that's a lie because I
Because you
watched.
can't. Like
I
you
can't.
can't.
I
That
can't. I
doesn't
gotta
sound
see
like
how it
something you
ends. I
could.
gotta see. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So that's it. That's what I got.
Alright. Fuck, man. I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it. I
Watch
gotta.
it.
See,
Watch
like you lost me at dog parts. I was like, okay, definitely never gonna watch
I knew
this movie.
As soon as that scene happened, I'm like, Drew's not gonna like this. That was my first time. I'm like, Drew's not gonna like this at
Drew
all.
will not be a fan of this.
At
You
all.
could literally dissect an infant in front of me, but the second you kill a dog, good lord. Well, there are times where I struggle with kid stuff because my fucking nieces have
Yeah,
ruined some of
okay.
that horror for
Yeah,
me.
I get it.
Because then, like, I do that, like that empath thing where I like imagine someone that I know and care about in the situation. I'm like, fuck. Whereas, like, normally I'm fine with that. I don't care.
Yeah.
But like. But now I'm like getting better with the kid stuff again. I'm like, it was like when they were fresh babies. I was
Yeah.
like, if anything ever harmed
Fresh
this
babies.
child, I would literally just tear it limb
Now
from
they're, not,
limb.
now that they're not so fresh,
Yeah,
and
they're
growing
older.
now,
Yeah.
they're getting in that weird, awkward age.
Yeah,
and you're like,
they're-
all
I'm,
right.
I'm like, you know what? I don't need to picture you whenever someone kills a kid anymore. You're fine. So I'm not worried about you. You're alive. You're protected. We're
There we
good.
go.
So,
There we go.
but yeah, so that's my jam with it. But fuck, you kill a dog, man. So it's hard to come back from that.
There's a lot
but-
of people. Yeah, there's a lot of people that I know of.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I know Laura's one of them too.
Yes,
She'll
Laura's-
never watch a
no.
fucking movie if she hears that a fucking a dog got killed
Oh yeah,
or
we've,
anything.
We've discussed this in length
Yeah.
before she and I, because we're both the same. Where like we'll be talking about like horror movies, and she'll suggest something, and I'll be like, okay, there's no like animal, like anything, right? And like same, I'll be like, hey, if there's this movie, there's dog doesn't die, you're good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I knew that one would get you. That would get you, and then I was like, I don't know. Like,
But there's
the
enough
rest of the shit-
craziness where I
there's
could
enough
I
shit
could
in
move
this
past
movie
this.
where, yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
still. I did not give a flying fuck about this movie. I will literally never watch it again, but I'm still not okay from Will Smith having to kill his dog in I Am Legend. I still think about that.
Wow.
That's how I feel about animals being killed in movies. So it's
Well, that's
hard.
You know, well, I Am Legend though. That's that. Like that was a long scene though.
It was a very long, and that
like
was
it
like
took a
his
while.
one,
Yeah.
and it was so hard. I can't even talk
Yeah.
about it right now. But yeah, like it's so yeah, those things definitely they affect me. So it's like yeah, but I'll still watch it. I'm
There
intrigued.
we go. Girl on the Third Floor, starring CM Punk.
Girl on the third
Or
floor. All
Phil
right.
Brooks, if you're nasty.
Ooh, yeah. Was it Philip Mason Brooks? Was that it?
Was it?
I
I thought
think
it
it
was
was-
Philip Jack Brooks or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
but I
that,
think it was
wasn't
Philip Jack Brooks. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's all we got for this
I know.
episode. All right. I thought it was going to be a short episode, but no, we've been running at this for almost 90 minutes.
Yeah. We
Almost
talk.
the length of Girl on the Third Floor.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Again, hope you liked everything we talked about. And if
Yeah.
you didn't, we don't care.
If you had seen either of the movies that we watched or you are intrigued by them, let us know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Curious to see what you think.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys, what was it? Fair hair
Fair
child.
We're like, before we started recording, I was having issues talking.
Were you?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I was like, blah, 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 and then I'm like, it's okay. I just got to do a podcast where the only thing I have to do is talk. And now you're struggling, so that
Yes,
makes me feel
I
better.
always struggle though. That's just
It's just
my fucking
but-
brain goes too fast. and
See,
my mouth
that's the
does not
problem.
catch up.
Like, or I'll have like, because I have ADHD, so like my thoughts, I'll consistently go, and then by the time I'm trying to remember the word for something, my brain's like, oh no, we're past that. We got,
we're already done.
I'm
We're
like,
already
no,
done.
guys, I can't just stop talking. We need to do this. And my brain, nope, we gotta move. We gotta move, Drew. We got things to do. We got people to see. We got places to go. Let's go. So I'm just
Yeah.
like,
That's it. That's it.
yeah,
How about you guys? You guys have the same problems?
yeah. Are you all fucking insane too? Obviously.
you can let us know. And where can you let us know?
Oh, well, you can start by letting us know at territoriopodcast@gmail.com. You could also, if you are so inclined, reach out to us at territoriopodcast at Instagram, on Facebook, and territoriocast on Twitter. And then we are also on YouTube. We got them episodes up, so
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, that's
We're
about it.
everywhere.
We're everywhere. We're in your
Everywhere.
fucking thoughts. We're in your head,
We're
man.
in
Do you
your head.
feel us?
We're in your loins.
Do you feel us putting our juices coming out of your sockets right now?
Yeah, jizz.
Yeah,
coming out of the
jizz
sockets.
out of all of the orifices. Maybe you feel a little marble going around somewhere,
That's right.
creeping.
That works.
We need to go. Okay.
And that's what we're going to leave
And
you
that's
with.
what- goodbye.
So for Terra 51, I'm Eugene.
And I'm Drew. Not gonna say it. All right.
All right, thanks, guys.
Goodbye.